Hi, and welcome to Get Fit with Gaston. I'm Ashlyn Treat. Today's guest is Master Certified Health Coach Ashli Brigham. Welcome, Allie.
Thanks so much for having me.
It's great. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, I come from a healthcare background. I worked in the healthcare industry for about 22 years, and with holistic doctors and conventional physicians as well. So I founded my company, Charlotte Nutrition and Wellness, because I was just so tired of seeing so many sick individuals, family members, friends, just Americans in general being diagnosed with so many autoimmune diseases, neurological diseases, cancers, people just dropping like flies basically, and it was so frustrating to me, and all of these diseases are preventable.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of education do you need to get a job like that?
Well, there's lots of avenues you can take. Technically, my latest certification is in health and wellness coaching. My background, I have a lot of prerequisites, which are also important when you want to go into this kind of field because they only make you better at what you do. So my master's background is in neuroscience and biochemistry. And then my post-grad training is in exercise physiology and kinesiology. So it's kind of all-encompassing with total health and wellness, and including the 20 years, working in nutrition. And also I come from a research background, so I'm a total research geek. And you have to be in this field because nutrition and wellness and fitness is just so ever evolving, constantly changing. So you really need to keep up on it on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm. And what inspires you personally to live healthy?
The way I feel. The way that nutrition has cured so many of my own ailments. My energy levels are through the roof. The restful sleep that I'm able to get when I've suffered years of insomnia. And more importantly, the changes that I see in my clients. It's so gratifying to me to know that I'm actually changing lives. I'm not just giving somebody, okay, here's a diet, follow this, because I don't believe in diets. I believe in lifestyle change. Follow this and you're going to do well. It's kind of coaching them through the process and really, making small incremental lifestyle changes so that they can become, routine and they don't, habitual, and they don't feel like a chore.
Mm-hmm. So how do you help people, specifically? What do you do?
I love this question because I think it's crucial to really get to know your client. So I don't believe in a cookie cutter, one size fits all model. Everybody's unique and different. So we all have our own unique metabolic schematic, and we all have different budgets and convenience and time management. So it's really tailored to the individual. So I gather a lot of information initially. So I will do a very thorough clinical interview and ask lots of questions. I do medical history and background. And then I will come up with a tailored program that fits into, let's say if you were a client, your lifestyle, your time management, that's easy for you to implement and convenient for you. So it's really tailored to the individual.
Okay, that's really cool. So I know that health food stores are really popular, but if I couldn't get to a health food store, how would you suggest me in a regular grocery store to shop?
Sure. So a lot of people have heard the term shop the perimeter. So basically what that means is if you think of a grocery store, when you're walking into a grocery store, you see, the produce and the fresh fruits and vegetables and the fresh herbs and the fresh fish counter and the fresh meat counter and then the eggs and the cheese and the dairy. Those are all whole foods. So those are foods from nature. They are generally on the exterior, and all in the middle are the processed packaged foods. So we say try to fill your cart with as many whole foods as you can, nutritious foods that think of anything you can grow or raise in your own backyard. Okay. If you had the space and the time.
Super interesting. So what are some foods that are seemingly healthy but are actually not healthy at all?
Yes, and there's a lot of that, unfortunately, with advertising and marketing. You see a commercial and it says it's all natural, or you see there's lots of labels on everything. It's so confusing. Gluten-free and 100% this and all natural ingredients. It absolutely doesn't mean it's natural. They are allowed to put any label they want on anything. Doesn't mean it's healthy. So what I do is I encourage my clients to read the ingredients. That is the only way you know that you are getting a healthy product, is by actually reading and get comfortable with understand the ingredients, what they are, be able to pronounce the ingredients. So sometimes there's a laundry list of 50 ingredients in one little small container of something, and you can't pronounce half of them. So they're not real foods. They're synthetic chemicals and additives and preservatives and carcinogens.
So like the main difference between like good foods and bad foods, is it like the chemicals?
Yeah, I like to call them old foods and young foods. So old foods actually age you. They alter the DNA in your cells. They harm the cells in your body, and they cause disease. So young foods do the exact opposite. So old foods would be like fast foods and fried foods and hydrogenated foods and the packaged processing foods. So all the foods that contain all the chemicals and the additives and the dyes and the preservatives and the fillers and the binders. They are artificial, they're synthetic, they're made in a laboratory, they're not meant for humans, but the body doesn't recognize those ingredients and doesn't know what to do with them, so they usually deposit those as fat or make us ill. Mm-hmm. So young foods are the ones that I mentioned previously, like the fish and lots of whole grains and nuts and seeds and legumes and lentils, beans, even lean beef. If you want to be vegan, that's absolutely fine in your choice. Vegetarian, absolutely fine in your choice. I personally am not, so that's kind of what I like to call old foods and young foods, because young foods actually slow down the aging process.
Uh-huh. So I heard you mention total wellness. So mm-hmm. like, is that like a more effective approach to healthcare? I
think so, because I love this phrase. So medicine is sick care. Nutrition is health care. Oh, okay. Think about it when you go to a doctor, right? Uh-huh. Or urgent care, and they say, okay, so you have this, here's a prescription for that. Oh, you're suffering from this, here's a prescription for that. You may walk out with 2 or 5 or more prescriptions. So that's not really addressing the underlying cause of disease or illness. It's kind of, just giving something to cover up a symptom. So I like to treat the individual as a unique whole person. So you really want to address everything, everything from what they're eating and their stressors in their life, their relationships in their life, mind, body, total approach to wellness, not just giving a medicine to cover up a symptom.
Okay, so can you describe the role that nutrition plays in like the individual's wellness?
I'm just going to say this one line because I think it's so important. Simply put, nutrition is medicine.
That makes sense. Okay, so what are some tips that you would give to somebody who's trying to make healthier choices, the initial switch from bad to good?
Start small, baby steps. You don't want to completely, go into your pantry and then throw everything out. That's just wasteful, and I would never expect my clients to do that. And plus, a lot of people that go from that to all of a sudden, very stringent militant diets tend to fail, because the goal is to slowly implement these small lifestyle changes so that eventually you're leading a healthier lifestyle in the end, and you're feeling great and you're getting all of these benefits and you're losing weight and you have tons of energy and your skin looks better and your hair looks better and everything. Just your digestive system, all the systems in your body are working together harmoniously.
Okay, so as a college student, like stress is like a big factor, but does that like affect like your overall health and wellness?
Stress is so toxic to the body. When you are under stress, your body, your endocrine system is secreting all sorts of hormones, and a lot of them are detrimental to your health. So if you think back in the hunter and gatherers ages, and your body's stress response is meant to be a survival mechanism. So let's say, you're one of those hunters out there in the field and you see a tiger. What happens? Yeah. Your body goes into fight or flight. Mm-hmm. You start secreting hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, because you need that to run away from the tiger. Yeah. But think about, all the demands we have on us these days. It's just more and more and more demanding. So how many times are you running from that proverbial tiger? Is your on switch on all the time? That's when it becomes bad. It's really not meant to be on all the time. That's when stress becomes toxic.
Okay, and what role does exercise play in health and wellness?
It's real crucial because there's something called nitric oxide that your body produces in your endothelium, which is the largest endocrine organ. If you look in the research, there's a famous physicist by the name of Luis Ignarro. He won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1990 for discovering that the body has its ability to make its own medicine. It's called nitric oxide. Here's the downside. The only way your body produces nitric oxide is through exercise. There's no pill you can take for it. There's no food you can eat. You have to exercise. But here's the good news. If you are on a regular exercise program, and it doesn't even have to be that strenuous, it could be 15 minutes 5 times a week, your body will continue to produce nitric oxide even at rest. So that is your body's own medicine. Your body was created by God or evolution, whatever it is you believe, to heal itself without the use of synthetic medications. But it's not going to produce nitric oxide unless you exercise, and of course, your body's not going to heal itself unless you give it the right nutrients.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today. Is
Sure,
there a way
my
that
pleasure.
we can learn more information about you and what you do?
Sure. So it's Charlotte Nutrition and Wellness, and my website is www.charlottenutritionandwellness. Feel free. I offer complimentary consultations, and I have a Facebook page, Charlotte Nutrition and Wellness. My email is info@Charlotte Nutrition and Wellness. So it's pretty straightforward across the board. So you can always find me, and just Google me.
Okay, well, thank you again. And thank you for watching Get Fit with Gaston. We will see you next time.